You may have seen this meme template on the internet before, but for the uninitiated, it's what is called a tier list. It originates from a method used to create a hierarchy of characters in fighting games and grades things from a highest level of S to a bottom level of F. Now, these rankings aren't based off of combat prowess or anything like that. They're just my opinions on these cryptids, and I know a few will be controversial, so as always, you're more than welcome to disagree and give your own opinions in the comments. Enjoy. First off in S tier is Bigfoot. Well, I don't think this will surprise anyone. There's a reason, or 50, that I call Bigfoot the king of the cryptids. In addition to easily being the most famous, anomalous animal to walk the planet, having the most sightings of any cryptid, and the biggest presence in pop culture, Bigfoot is what I call the gateway cryptid. Realistic and grounded enough to make you believe, strange and bizarre enough to give you a lifelong obsession. In A tier is Dogman because, come on, it's a real-life werewolf. The only thing holding it back, in my opinion, from being S tier is the fact that it isn't as well known by laymen as Bigfoot is, and it lacks the high-quality public evidence that Sasquatch has. When the Monster of Michigan gets its own patty film, maybe we can reassess the situation. The Googly, a devil monkey, but bigger. Devil monkeys, a googly, but smaller. Mothman, a moth, but taller. Giant snakes, a snake, but bigger. Hoop snakes, a snake, but hoopier. The skunk ape, Bigfoot, but loopier. Next up in S tier is the Goat Man, because Goat Man is the goat man. Coming into F tier is the Chupacabra, because, hey, I did say there'd be some controversial picks on here, and unfortunately, even the creature's status as a celebrity among cryptids doesn't win at any points in my eyes. Of the big five, Bigfoot, Mothman, Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, and Nessie, I can only bring myself to believe in 3, the other one of which will be revealed later in this video. As to why I'm skeptical of the southern sheepsucker, it's described as looking and acting like a canine with mange. I don't think we're talking about some legendary, undiscovered creature here. The other type of Chupacabra that gets reported, the more extraterrestrial reptilian one, interestingly enough didn't start popping up until the late 90s, early 2000s-ish, after the release of the 1995 film Species, featuring a very similar creature. The cryptid's famous blood draining comes from how blood will seep to the lowest part of an animal's body after it's been killed, giving the illusion of it having had its blood drained. At a C tier, but a solid C tier, is the Flatwoods Monster. To me, the Flatwoods Monster is kind of the perfect middle ground pick. No one's favorite, no one's gonna take up a crusade against it, it's just kind of there. At D tier are anomalous big cats, which are pretty mundane. They're just feline species existing in areas where they shouldn't. Pretty grounded, pretty realistic. I think we'll find them within the next few years, but I can't say they're all that thrilling. Next up in D tier are the Thunderbirds. Now, the awe-inspiring avians called Thunderbirds certainly rule the skies when it comes to cryptids, but what's keeping them down so low, in my opinion, is lack of video when it really shouldn't be that hard to capture some on camera. They're not like Bigfoot where they're hiding in the forest. They fly overhead like a 747. And who wouldn't have their phone out after hearing, "It's a bird, it's a plane, Nope, it's just a really massive bird." At B tier is the Jersey Devil. There's no doubt that the snake in the Garden State is one of the most famous and fearsome cryptids out there, earning its spot over other creatures for having the most sightings of any cryptid in 1 week, with over 1,000 in 7 days back in 1909. And, as a New Jersey resident myself, we really need something we can be a little proud of. Following up with another cryptid from everyone's favorite state to hate is the New Jersey Mantis Man, and I'm gonna give him F tier. Even biased towards my own home state, can't save this guy, and let's face it, the New Jersey Mantis Man is literally no one's favorite cryptid. Joining giant snakes in E tier is the Loveland Frogman. Look, I don't have any animosity towards the Ohio Frogman, but it's just a 4-foot-tall frog. It has some pretty credible sightings, but as far as swing state strangeness goes, there are far better examples out there. Next up in A tier are the armless oddities known as the Fresno nightcrawlers. The Fresno nightcrawlers have become nearly synonymous with cryptozoology in recent years just for their sheer bizarreness. Their distinctive appearance and seemingly alien nature only add to their appeal, only losing a few points because that appearance can be a double-edged sword. And no matter how fast they walk at me, I can't see myself turning and running from these guys. Next up in D tier is the Loch Ness Monster. Hope Chupacabra braced you guys for this one. Look, Nessie is no doubt an icon when it comes to cryptozoology and the paranormal, but we haven't gotten a good photo, or even a consistent description of what she looks like after centuries. My best guess is that since the loch opens up to the North Sea, every now and then some large aquatic creature gets in, gets spotted, and gets misidentified. Finally, in S tier are true giants. Now this pick might be a little controversial, and I can understand why you'd think that. True giants aren't one of the more famous cryptids for the most part. Outside of the giant of Kandahar, there aren't too many well-known sightings, and as far as believability goes, most of the public is pretty skeptical, to say the least. There's one simple reason I will put them in S tier. There's only one creature in the world that'll make every other cryptid turn and run, and that's the red-headed horror known as the true giant. Well, I hope you enjoyed the rankings I created. Do you agree? Disagree? Would you have switched up the order or added different mysterious monsters? Let me know in the comment section below.